If you're a melancholic person, you've probably asked yourself this in silence. Is what I feel just sadness, or is it something deeper? Sometimes what seems like a bad day stretches into weeks. Your sensitivity makes you dive deep into emotions, and in that dive, it can be hard to know when it's gone beyond what's healthy. You stay quiet, overanalyze, try to fix everything alone. But understanding the difference between sadness and depression might be the first step to taking better care of yourself. This isn't about labeling. It's about recognizing, gently, what's really going on inside you. Today, we'll explore 6 signs that can help you make this distinction calmly, respectfully, and honestly. Melancholics feel everything deeply. A single word can cut like a knife. Silence can feel like abandonment. Often, it's easy to name what triggered the sadness: a disappointment, a loss, a failure that hurt more than expected. But what about when there's no reason? When you wake up with your chest heavy and you don't know why? When everything looks fine on the outside, but inside there's a numbness you can't explain? Sadness usually has a clear trigger, something you can point to. Depression doesn't. It arrives without knocking, quietly, dulling the color of things. If you can't name what's hurting you anymore, maybe it's time to look more gently at the weight you've been carrying. Sadness is like rain. It soaks, it weighs, but eventually it passes. Melancholics know how to wait. They understand that feeling is part of living. But what if the sky never clears again? What if your soul gets used to the darkness, as if sunlight were no longer an option? Sadness comes to an end. Sometimes a talk, a hug, a good night's sleep is enough. But depression lingers. It's like living in a room where the curtains never open. You know there's light out there, but you can't find the strength to stand and pull them back. Writer Sylvia Plath, in her novel The Bell Jar, described this feeling as a glass bell jar covering her head, an invisible prison where the world still exists, but you can't reach it. If the heaviness in you isn't going away, maybe it's no longer just sadness. Maybe it's something that deserves your attention, not your silence. You know yourself well. Melancholics analyze everything, sometimes too much. That's why it's often easy to identify what's behind your sadness. I feel this way because of what happened. But what if there is a pain you can't explain? An emptiness with no shape, a fatigue with no cause. Sadness has a face, a place, a story. Depression, more often than not, has no map. It creeps in like fog. You don't know when it started, and you can't find your way out. That doesn't make you weak. It means something deeper is asking for your care. You don't have to solve everything alone. Not everything needs an explanation to be worthy of compassion. When something wounds you, sadness shows up, like a bruise on your soul. You cry, you shake, you feel. But with time, it shifts. Depression, on the other hand, doesn't scream. It silences. It's like the world is in black and white, and even pain has lost its color. You stop reacting, stop wanting, stop caring. Even the things that once moved you now feel distant. You don't feel less, you feel nothing. Like living underwater, hearing everything muffled, and often no one notices. But the melancholic does, and deep down, they know something isn't right. If even the things you love no longer bring you joy, maybe it's time to ask for help. Have you noticed how it's easier to say, "I'm sad," than I'm not okay? Melancholics often keep things to themselves, afraid of sounding fragile, dramatic, or too much. But sadness, when spoken, finds echo. It can be soothed by a friend, a song, a poem. Depression doesn't. It goes quiet. It pretends everything's fine while it quietly dismantles you. It smiles in photos but deletes unread messages. It's like playing a role so often that you forget who you were before. Writer Virginia Woolf in Mrs. Dalloway and her personal journals described the weight of inner silence, that haunting sense of always being on the outside, looking in. If you've been going quiet more than you'd like, maybe it's not just introversion. Maybe it's a cry asking to be heard. A sad day can make you cancel plans, stay in bed, turn off your phone. But soon, things fall back into place. With depression, that pause doesn't end. You start skipping work, losing focus in class, avoiding people you love. Your body aches, sleep goes off track, food loses its taste. Life continues, but you don't. It's like standing on a platform, watching every train pass, unable to board. And to others, you might just seem tired or off. But inside, it's like everything is crumbling, slowly, quietly. And at this point, it's no longer about willpower, it's about health. And you deserve care, not blame. If you saw yourself in any of these signs, take a deep breath. Feeling deeply is not a flaw, it's a trait. It's part of what makes you, you. But even those who feel the most still need to learn how to care for themselves. And that starts with naming what we feel. Sadness and depression might look like sisters, but one fades when held. The other needs help to leave. If this video helped you understand yourself better, leave a like. It shows me this content matters to you. If you'd like, share it with someone who also feels in silence. And if you want to keep exploring your inner world, there's another video right here that might help you see yourself with more kindness. Slowly and truthfully, we learn that we don't have to heal alone to be worthy of love. We just need to start listening to ourselves.